Hey guys, it's Will. So Microsoft just dropped a bombshell with its new Majorana quantum chip, and it's the market that is starting to react to this that I want to talk about today. The future of quantum computing is pretty interesting here, and how it's going to possibly reshape some of the tech stocks in 2025 is another story. Let's get into it. You guys can see some of the videos we were watching, our history and everything else. This is a video I recommend everybody watches. It's called Microsoft's AGI plan and quantum breakthrough with the CEO. It's about an hour and 16 minutes. I listened on 2x speed, so 30 minutes. Not too bad. But one of the things that I wanted to show you guys, Microsoft stock, if we jump into quantum AI, they didn't do anything crazy today. You can see they were up just about 1% on the day. In our position that we're in on Microsoft, on this trade, it hasn't changed at all. But it's interesting because they announced this right at a support. So you can see they are in this consolidation. Microsoft stock looks interesting. What does this quantum chip really mean for the disruption of maybe Nvidia or Google? And are the top quantum stocks here, are they going to see some of this as a positive catalyst? I think so. You can see Rigetti is up 5% today. QBTS was up 8%. And that's something you like to see. QUBT is up 4%. Nvidia was up a little bit as well. Now, how do you want to position your portfolio to capitalize on this? We're going to talk a little bit about that. This is a move that could shake up some of the tech sector. If you guys saw it, let's take a look at Microsoft. Let's check it out. Microsoft, if you look at this chip here, it looks pretty interesting. It's a tiny chip. Apparently, they're saying a million qubit capacity. So this is quite the breakthrough in what could be some topological core architecture. You can see how it looks. It's pretty awesome looking. And just to kind of break it down in simple terms, this new chip, it's designed to handle quantum information more reliably, solving some of the bottlenecks that we see in quantum computing, like scalability. Now, this is the other thing. When we were at CES, we got to talk with Microsoft directly, talked with IBM, head of quantum, talked with IONQ as well. How is IONQ doing today? They're down just 0.64%. And one of the things that they said was they were still going to continue their partnerships with third parties. And that's pretty apparent because you could go to Microsoft Azure and you can tap into these quantum computers like Rigetti or IONQ or what have you through the cloud. Microsoft as a provider, this is an interesting one. So we're over here looking at this. They announced at CES that they plan to not rely on third parties as much, but have their own quantum processing units. Now, this doesn't look like a typical quantum computer. If Microsoft kind of pulls this off, they're looking in the Google Willow space. They're looking to outpace Google and industry leaders like Nvidia in certain areas with this move. You can see Microsoft on Wednesday, they announced this Majorana, its first quantum computing chip. The achievement comes after the company has spent nearly 2 decades of research in the field. Now, don't get that wrong. They are already heavily into other smaller companies. Like they're a big backer here in IONQ. If you head over to IONQ or a lot of these quantum companies, you can see how they are. One of their big partners, you got Nvidia, but Microsoft's a big partner, Lockheed Martin, and then you got NASA and others that work with these companies. Now, this chip right here, I think it can transform some complex drug discovery. So if they're able to this is the other thing. When it comes to quantum computers, the reason that they are preferred over classical computers as the main means of calculating, for example, down to drug discovery, problems that are down on the ionic level, the electrons. Maybe we're talking about chemistry, and finding more solutions for quantum or building better quantum computers could actually be a result of getting answers through quantum computers. But they work in tandem with AI. And one of the things that they don't realize, like this is a big flashy thing that you hear. Microsoft, IONQ, Rigetti, Nvidia, Big Bear AI is not in that conversation because they're a security company, but BigBear AI is one we're talking about recently because they could benefit from increased AI in operational efficiency. Same thing with Palantir. A lot of the companies that are in other industries will benefit from quantum. But the reason I say all these companies is because quantum computing doesn't come down to just a million qubits. You hear them say a million qubits. The scalability is huge, and a million qubits this, a million qubits that. If you listen to any of these CEOs talk, they're going to talk about fidelity. They're going to talk about, yeah, you could have a million qubits, but if they're not efficient or they're not good, then you don't have anything. It's like might have a million tomato plants, but if all the tomatoes are like the tomato plants, each of them only produce zero potatoes or tomatoes, it's not going to be that good of a garden, right? So same thing is here. Fidelity is almost more important than anything else. So that's something to consider. I think that how this could play in with Microsoft as a company, this new development, is potentially going to see this impact maybe finance, maybe impact some of that drug discovery, or even in the defense industry, just more accurate battle management systems or things like that. It's not just about faster computers, but it could also reshape different industries for making decisions quicker, working with millions of data points and things like that. Now, obviously, Microsoft is leading the charge. You see them at the support here. The thing about Microsoft is that they consolidate quite consistently, and this is a move we just talked about yesterday, actually. I don't know what its price was yesterday. It was at 414 or somewhere in here. Yeah, 413, give or take. And that was a move we talked about here. This 8% swing could be 16% over on 2x MSFX. So that's something to consider. And I do think that if we look at some of the other companies that are in here, they're gonna see benefits as Microsoft advances. These other companies, the whole market's gonna get more attention. So Rigetti's gonna get more attention, QBTS is gonna get more attention, and that's gonna be huge for Microsoft. So Microsoft, in this move, I could see them continue this trend right here, possibly continuing up to $4.50. It's going to happen, I would imagine, in the long term. It's just near term and actually looks quite probable. We'll see how it goes. When it comes to this quantum chip, it's not anything that I would say is going to, this is it. Quantum computing's here. We're still some years away. They said 2027 to see this chip really in action. They talked a little bit about in that interview about if the chip was going to be used in the cloud for anyone to tap into, or if it was only going to be used privately by Microsoft. And they kind of skidded and skirted around that question. Didn't really get confirmation on whether it was going to be more all public use, but definitely sounded like it would be used for people that use Microsoft, if that makes sense. So maybe people that have Copilot or people that are using Microsoft to run their business will get access. Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds like the right move. You can't really, this is the other thing they talked about. They said, is this going to corner the market? Is this kind of like one company wins? That's not true. And I don't think any markets are like that. You could look at maybe Visa or MasterCard, and that's like one extreme example where it kind of seems like they're close with some sort of like monopoly there. But when it comes to like quantum, they talk a lot about open source and like how, you're going to have different applications you build, and maybe you're going to pick and pull from different models and see which ones work the best. The other thing that's going to make this hard is, yeah, they have this chip and it could disrupt a lot of things like defense, pharmaceuticals, or finance, but they don't have a lot of the infrastructure, the software to support this. So, still a little bit stuck in proof of concept with this thing. We're going to have to see how it actually solves real problems at scale. And it looks great. It's very well designed, tiny chip. But also how this plays into long term. It's like, I think quantum's going to be that next level for AI. And then AI or quantum, we might go to another market as well. So it's not like first person to hit quantum wins, but you see IBM reporting $1 billion in revenue. You see all these things that this is a hype cycle too, that we have to see the money show up. These are great things. You have the quantum, you have the if you head on over to IONQ, like we were checking it out, you could see some of their quantum computers. You could see it over on Rigetti, and it looks great. You see them shipping their quantum computers. You could see these, and then you could tap into them through the cloud, and they're improving their 2-gate qubits there, the fidelity. It's looking good. They got good partnerships, but a lot of them are government partnerships or more research based. Let's see how they're plugging into businesses and how much revenue we start to see really add up, because that's great for Microsoft. Now let's see how it actually generates revenue. And that's kind of what investors are going to be looking at, because we don't really have a lot of strong revenue streams from any of these quantum companies. And let's be straightforward about this Microsoft move. This could be more about keeping up with appearances like competitors like Google Willow and Nvidia than an actual breakthrough. Because we were at CES and they were saying, yeah, our quantum computers are 1,000 times more efficient than Google Willow's chip. And there was a ton of news like the most amazing quantum computer, it's here, Google Willow chip. But then these other like smaller quantum computing companies are saying like, yeah, we're like 1,000 times more efficient. So than Google Willow chip. And we're getting like millions of users every year in our cloud. And that was like IBM and stuff for our smaller quantum computing companies. And so of course Google Willow comes out with this chip and it's like very hype, but like you look at the efficiency as opposed to some of these smaller companies, and you're like, it's actually like smaller companies are looking more efficient. This quantum chip today doesn't mean it's going to drive profits right away, and it's still got a ton of work to do. So there could be some scalability issues. It's going to be interesting, because the chip works well for specialized calculations, but it doesn't yet offer like super practical solutions. It's not available to tap into through the cloud, so we have to see how it actually works. Some of these other companies, I think they still need to have partnerships with companies like Rigetti or QBTS in order to scale. Because if we go over to like D-Wave, this is a company that you can use their quantum computers through the cloud right now. And we're going to this conference next month. We're also going to Florida next week, which should be cool. There's some really good stuff. But this quantum computer, it's a 5,000 qubit advantage and supported 99% uptime. You can get an answer from this quantum computer in under a minute through the cloud. So I think Microsoft, they're going to keep all their partnerships with all these companies. You could see them available. They definitely aren't going to be touching. That's just because they're offering one now doesn't mean they're going to cut third parties. A lot of these developments from Microsoft are coming as a result of these partnerships that they have with companies like D-Wave or Rigetti or others. IONQ is like one of their biggest. And so those partnerships they're exciting. We're gonna have to see which ones are starting to generate consistent revenue, and that will play a key role. But overall, I think it's a good announcement. I think it would make sense to see some of the market rally a little bit on this. I don't know how much it's going to carry the market in quantum, but definitely could see a recovery here on Microsoft. I like that swing there. It looks quite interesting. Quite clearly there is support there. It is starting to bounce. That was a good announcement that they had yesterday, so it would make sense that they would go up. But again, just because of an announcement like that, there's other things that will play a role we'll have to look at here in the near future. And if you guys would like to watch us trade live, we trade live this morning in the market. If you'd like to be there at market open, and then today we have an extra live stream before market close. It's the second link in the description. That's StockMate. Would love to have you there. There's also a link, the first link in the description. We just revealed our virtual stock trading system, and you can watch the full breakdown of the reveal as well as the full class there, the first link in the description, and it's closing tomorrow night. So if you would like to have a look, see what it's all about, there's classes for it that start next Thursday, kind of the first release we've had of this kind. It includes our Mercatus AI predictive analysis software, as well as some other bonuses like getting StockMate for free and stuff like that. So make sure to check that first link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.